I've no right to be writing this, seeing as how I won't be long for this world. My hands won't quit shaking, and the kerosene lantern throws shadows across the cabin walls that don't sit right, longer than they ought to be, bending where the boards don't. Still, I have to try. Maybe whoever finds these pages will think twice before stepping where I did. Maybe they'll have sense enough to turn around. It started 3 days ago. I had been working the ridge above Black Hollow, felling pine for Old Man Weathers, who promised good money if I hauled it down to the sawmill. The 1960s ain't been kind to mountain men. Factories pulling folks away, coal leaving scars in the hills, and the old ways rotting in their hollers. But I held on to timber work. It's honest. Until it wasn't. They always said not to step past the leaning pines. A row of them, bent like old men's backs, crooked as if pressed down by some heavy hand. That's where the hollow begins, my granddaddy once warned, voice tight with whiskey and fear. That's where the air turns against you. I'd laughed, a boy with no reason to fear shadows. But 3 days ago, I hauled my mule right through them, too tired and too stubborn to take the long way round. The forest changed past that line. Sound grew damp, muffled, like snow had fallen though the ground was bare. Birds went quiet. Even the mule balked, snorting, eyes rolling, but I pressed him on. By sundown, the trees grew thick, trunks swollen and blistered with resin that oozed like pus. My lantern light made the sap gleam red. That was the first time I heard it, low like the earth itself groaning, a long breath drawn through roots and soil. I should have turned back. God help me, I should have. The second day, the forest showed its teeth. I woke in the lean-to I'd built and the mule was gone. Rope chewed clean through, blood splattered the trees in a wide arc, strips of hide nailed to bark as if the woods themselves had spit 'em apart. Not claw marks, not teeth, just torn and placed careful, like some child pinning dead butterflies to corkboard. That sound came again, deeper now, like it had fed. The ground shifted beneath me when I ran. No, not shifted. It breathed. I swear on every bone in my body the dirt rose and fell like the chest of some slumbering giant. Roots twisted underfoot, catching my boots, dragging me down till my knees split open on sharp shale. The earth drank the blood quick. I pressed on, every step slower, heavier. The trees leaned closer, trunks bent in arcs overhead, shutting out the sky. That's when I realized they weren't bent from wind or age. They bent toward me. By the third night, I'd lost all sense of direction. My compass spun useless, needle twitching like it was afraid. I tried to climb a ridge to get my bearings, but the hill rived under me. The soil cracked open with a sound like snapping ribs and a stink poured out. Rot, copper, old graves wet with rain. In the opening I saw things. Corpses, but not laid to rest, piled like cordwood, their skins slick and their faces slack, and every single one of them missing eyes. Some old, skulls yellow with time, some fresh, lips still purple. I stumbled back, fell to my knees, and when I looked up, the trees all had knots shaped like eyes, hundreds of them, watching, bleeding pitch. That was when the voices started. Not one, not many, just the forest speaking as one thing, a whisper like wind through dry corn. You're mine now. Yours. Your blood. Your marrow. You walked in. You don't walk out. I ran. God, I ran blind, lantern whipping shadows that stretched too long. Branches tore my face, peeled strips of skin. My own blood ran warm into my collar, and all the while the ground pulsed underfoot, closer now, like the hollow was rising to swallow me whole. I made it to this old trapper's cabin just before dawn, boards half rotted, roof sagging, but walls enough to keep the dark at bay. I barred the door, lit the lantern, and sat here bleeding and shaking, telling myself daylight would burn the horror off. But daylight never came. The sky outside is still black as pitch, though my watch says noon. The hollow doesn't follow clocks. I can hear it circling, pressing against the cabin walls. The wood groans like it's being squeezed by a giant's hand. The floorboards buckle, breathing with that same terrible rhythm. And the voices, they won't quit. They say my name now, sweet as kinfolk, soft as mama humming a hymn. They promise I won't be alone if I give myself over. They promise I'll be part of the mountain, my blood thickening the roots, my bones feeding the soil. The lantern's burning low. Shadows crawl along the ceiling, fingers outstretched. My skin itches, tight, like it's fixing to split. I can't fight it, not anymore. If you find these pages, don't follow my tracks. Don't pass the leaning pines. Don't listen when the forest calls your name. Because it will. And when it does, you'll understand the truth I see now, burning bright in the dark. The hollow doesn't just eat flesh. It eats time. It eats God. It eats everything. The lantern's out. Something's inside.